Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Patrick. I hope you can see me now. We are live streaming on Twitter and on YouTube right now. And I think everything should be working, but this is also the first time we're actually doing a live stream on Twitter. So let me know if anything is up with like the, I don't know, sound quality or so. I'm not a YouTuber, so I'm kind of winging it here. But I'm very excited to have some special guests today. The whole Smart Places team is here to talk about their product and our collaboration, how we've been working together in the past, and also, their upcoming token launch, of course. But then also we have, of course, our very own Kadono girl, Jamie, which I'm gonna put in here. I hope you're not surprised, Jamie. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. How are you today? You're muted. You need to press the button.
I am doing well. How are you doing?
I'm also very well, and I'm very, very excited for this live stream. I think live streams are actually a really great way to, I don't know, it's a good alternative to Twitter Spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So next up, I'm gonna bring in Björn and Luca from Smart Places. Welcome, Björn. Welcome, Luca. How are you today?
Hi guys.
Hi guys. Thanks for having us.
I'm very glad to have you. So as I mentioned before, this is a very, I would say, like spontaneous, unplanned kind of live stream. I have a few questions which I'm going to ask you, but you can also just talk about any topic that you like, and hopefully the chat will post some questions about smart places, about Endmaker, about our collaboration, about real world assets, whatever they like, and then we're gonna just wing it. But before we start, let's begin just with a quick introduction round. So I think it would be best maybe if Jamie, you can go first, and then Björn and Gianluca can go afterwards.
All right. So I'm Jamie, otherwise known as Think Grow Crypto on social media. I am a social media marketing manager for Endmaker, and that's my part.
Nice. I'm very glad to have you. Björn, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So thanks again for having me here. So Björn, my name, co-founder of Smart Places. I'm entrepreneur and also lawyer. And maybe a quick summary of what I've done. I founded my first company in 2012, actually. That was a online arbitration platform back then. Later, I got an offer from KPMG, where I worked for the IT department. I also worked for some law firms later. But somehow I felt that being an entrepreneur was a better fit for me. This corporate thing is not really mine. So after that experience, I founded a compliance agency and later a media company. And on Kadono, I'm since early 22. Maybe that's it for now.
Sounds good. Then I'm gonna shoot it over to Gianluca.
Yeah, hello together. Yeah, my name is Gianluca. I'm a seasoned serial entrepreneur, more for 25 years now. Based several IT-focused companies in the past. Let's go more in Kadono since late 22. When I joined with Björn in Smart Places, after the things happening, and thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure, and of course, we all know each other for quite a long time now. We spent some funny evenings, doing carnival and more. But for everyone out there who doesn't know maybe about our collaboration and about Smart Places in particular, I think it would be best, Björn, to give us the quick pitch. What is Smart Places? What is your goal? What are you trying to achieve? And then later we can also go a little bit into the history of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Smart Places, a geolocation-based social file network built on Kadono. What we actually want to do is to enable hyperlocal experiences. So on the one hand, we want to connect people. And second, with the help of AR, to let people explore their close vicinity. So finding news and content of our partners, that on a global scale. The network itself actually rewards users for engagement. This rewarding happens through our tokens, SPX token. But the network also allows data ownership and NFT ownership. What we actually do and already had done, actually developing two tools in parallel. So you have on the one hand our mobile app. That is what we're developing at the moment and plan to launch in summer. That is actually a kind of explorer tool. So people will use the app for exploring their close vicinity. I come to that in a second. And the second component that we are developing, and that is already live, and that actually, Patrick, goes back to the point in terms of partnership. 22, we launched that, the map. So we have divided the world into small hexagons. Each hexagon represents a piece of the real world. You can buy those land plots as an NFT. So why would you do that? So first of all, you have an NFT as a unique digital asset. But second, and that is the key factor here, you as the owner of those NFTs and land plots, you will be rewarded for those interactions that are happening on your land plot. And we are talking here about real life interactions of people on your land plot. So that is one aspect. And second, you as a land plot owner, you will be rewarded for also business and partner engagement. So for example, a business is placing an ad there, then you receive as well rewards. Same goes for onboarding for further users, for example. There are also rewards will occur. And now quickly let's switch the perspective. So that what I just described, land plot owners that own those land plots, but the other perspective is the person that is spending time in real life on those represented land plots. And those are the people that will use our app. So you can do actually two things. You can, on the one hand, explore your close vicinity in terms of people. So you can make a post, for example, sharing your thoughts, needs, or just your socials if you want, with people in your immediate environment. But you also can shift the radius and searching and connecting with people outside, as not only the close vicinity, but also beyond. And second, and that is, I think, an important part, if you're not up to socializing, you can also explore your vicinity in terms of news, events, and offers. Because like I said, we enable our partners to place virtual items on the map. Those items, this could be just a piece of information maybe, so a pin, but it also could be a kind of AR element. It also could be a kind of hologram even. That means from a user perspective, it's quite exciting because all you see is either you get a notification or you see a pin on the map. Then you physically go to this place. So it's a geocaching element. You switch to the cam view and then you can grab the item and actually explore it. Meaning you can maybe just find some information. So when it comes to, for example, NGOs or also local governments and governance and so on, that is what we are in talks at the moment. If they, for example, want to highlight a specific place where they want to drive food traffic, for example, then that is the possibility. So you as a user, you just go to this place, you click on the item, then you find information. But again, it also could be more. It could be also a link, for example, to an online offer. But it also could be an NFT, for example, or like I said, an AR media file that will be played, or even a hologram where you can interact with. So it's kind of innovative approach, as we think. So bring actually the both elements together. On the one hand, the map for people behind the desktop that can promote a specific place and can onboard partners or users. And on the other hand, an explorer tool, which is the app, where you can find out what's going on in your immediate environment.
You know,
Okay, so wait. So that's a lot of like things you just said in a very short time. So let me try to like go through this step by step, because you're innovating on like multiple different fronts here. So first of all, essentially you're a social media platform, right? But you're innovating social media by doing this whole like land plot and geolocated approach, right? Where you say, okay, if you go to a certain place, something can happen there. And then the second part, is that correct?
Yeah, actually, yes. We actually avoid a bit the term social media because, of course, it has a media and an entertainment component, but that is not actually the main driver because, like you said, geolocation is more in the focus. And when it comes to social media, that's actually completely the opposite. Social media companies, they need those huge million user networks. When it comes to us, it's in a way also necessary, but not at the start. You can promote geolocation also without those huge user numbers.
Interesting. And then basically that is the first part. So it's kind of like Pokemon Go for social interactions, right? But then you're also bringing in this concept of ownership, because you say you can actually like own the land plot, right? And you can actually earn money if things are happening on the land plot, and you can place certain things there. So how does that come into play in more detail?
Luca, do you want to go with that? Otherwise, I also can. Also, exactly, ownership. So when it comes to the NFTs, like I said, main aspect actually rewarding in terms of tokens. So for interactions that are happening on your land plot, you receive those tokens, but also for onboarding, for example, businesses and partners. A second component that indeed goes in direction of fiat. So what we will enable is, as later on, is that you as an owner of a land plot, that you can set up your own kind of business on that land plot. So you can, for example, help, let's say, companies or brands to get onboarded, and you can charge a fee, for example, if they decide to place an ad there. So that is a kind of opportunity we will give to those, because again, for us, it's important to offer as many as many tools actually, and as many opportunities as possible to promote a specific land plot and to make it the most attractive experience for the user as possible.
Okay, so what happens, for example, if I buy a land plot and there's like a McDonald's on that land plot? How would that play into it? What kind of possibilities do you see there?
Yeah, there are various possibilities, depending. So you're talking about McDonald's. So we are already with various customers in talks. Don't tell about names, but maybe somebody has seen some burger on our videos as well. So if you have the big luck that you have some plot where McDonald's is on it, and there is a contract with McDonald's, and they will place there are elements of burger to grab them, to get them discount codes and so on, you will have a share of everything what's happening there. So it's McDonald's or somewhere else, it's totally equal. You will have a share of the real fiat revenue, what's happening there in regards to the revenue that's happening there. And on the other side, you get rewarded for the interactions that are there in regards of tokens and your stuff. And when we talk about the land plot owner, what's his opinion? At least if we talk about McDonald's, it's a big global company on one side. On the other side, it's locally, and every McDonald's that you know have his own owner, and it's an own company itself. So it's a franchise system behind. So you hit the option to talk to them, to go directly to them and let them place for the local store some advertise on his land plot to bring more promotion in, to share more discount codes or some other actions behind. And this is all possible with this kind of placements. And the idea behind with our pioneers, the land plot owners itself, it's not only to say, hey, we have the land plot and we get the owning, but it's our army outside, you can say, that they can start their own business as well. This is the idea. We have a slot called startup agencies, where we are doing workshops with this kind of pioneers and help them as well, what you can do, giving them marketing materials and so on. It's all stuff that is coming up all over the world as well. And they can go to them, not even the big like McDonald's, but as well the small burger stores at the corner, that maybe are not able to produce 3D elements or to bring something on chain to show that. And they can help them. And this is a service. They can grab this fee from them directly. They can be, it's a little bit like TikTok agency. If you think about in the past, nobody was able to do the videos by themselves. Every company went then to agencies to find the right people to start these videos. And this is one of the things that you can think about as well. Yeah.
I mean, that sounds very interesting, of course. And I think it's very important because you always highlight this kind of connection between the land plot owner and the like physical companies that might benefit from the platform, and the like synergy of how they are working together. Every land plot owner will become some sort of like business in itself, right? So I think that's really, really cool. But maybe, before we go back a little bit into the history of smart places, can you tell us about like the next big things that you want to do? Like, what is the big release that you're working towards, essentially?
I think there are two big things. The very first is upcoming now. It's a token release tomorrow, the LBE, at least that we worked for the last weeks and days now to make that happen. And on the other side, one of our releases will be the placements that we talked about. So they will be in the next days maybe out on the platform itself, that on the desktop version you can place these elements, that you can place ads, you can place events, you can place point of interests. And on the other side, you will be able as well to generate directly NFTs. And we have a really cool part now of that. Yeah, it's called NMaker, where on the fly we will do it on our platform, that they can not only set up. Let's take the example of an event that I used. Let's say Patrick will do an event in Switzerland, and he's placing this event on our map somewhere and saying, hey, okay, I want 100 people there and it's for free. Then directly on the map, on the platform, on the map, he can generate the NFTs. Let's say 100 people, so 100 at the count. And on the fly, they will be generated on the NMaker infrastructure as well, and placed there, that it's grabbable for everybody who can see them. And this can be used then as a ticket to come into this party, and it's fixed how many can come in. And Patrick could check this on chain if it's right or not. And this will happen, let's say in April, in the next few days, weeks, it will be online, the very kind of placement. If you here click now on the filter, you have a little overview about now left on the filter. You can see what all it's coming. So one of the next big thing that's coming up, it's an airdrop on the platform, so that various projects can place their tokens somewhere on this map, and the tokens can be grabbed, can be logged in for, and this will, as well as a cool thing for everybody else and for other projects to integrate on our map. And at least the biggest upcoming news will be in the second quarter, the first release of the app in the store.
So I'm kind of managing like all the screens here, so bear with me a little bit if I'm slower. But I think that's really a good explanation. And I'm worried because I'm doxing myself here heavily. Every time I show the screen, it's like, okay, there I am directly in Zurich. But I think just to talk quickly about this map, I know I understand it correctly, but for the viewers as well. These red land plots are essentially already bought and are already minted on Kadono. And right now there are 26,000 land plots which have already been minted. And of course, I'm in Switzerland, so there's a lot of stuff here. I also have a few, especially for the NMaker headquarters and stuff like that. But in general, I would say people tend to go for the famous locations, right? But it's not only interesting from my perspective for famous locations, but just in general, really well-frequented locations. Do you know how many land plots you exactly have available on the whole map, or do you have a number for that? Oh, okay, I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I had it in mind, but I had it somewhere. So at least more or less the representative land plots that I have is 1 billion possible. Yeah? Mm-hmm. All the rest are water and some somewhere in Saudi, some deserts and so on. But if you talk about lands itself, it's more or less 1 billion all over the world. Yeah, and it's absolutely right what you said before. We don't talk only where many traffic is in case of parties or cities or something like that, but there are, I think, so many other really cool places, like places where events are happening, big events, sometimes as well in the desert. There are cool places if you think about. Let's take one example. Hospitals. What are the people doing there when they are there? It's full of people that are ill. They are all on one place. It's one of the perfect steps that you can use smart places. You can check who is around you, what's happening there. Is there maybe somebody who we can drink a coffee together and get directly in contact? Things that normally, when you are in a hospital, it will not be open. Now think about how many hospitals do we have on the world. So I think there are many, many options, and not only the famous places.
By the way, I think maybe a good point here to just to also talk about our Discord, for example, because if you just join there, and you will see this a lot of very interesting discussions exactly about that question. And it's also interesting to see it's a kind of history and the development in this regards. Like you said, Patrick, it's the very start, of course, those kind of landmarks had been very popular and still are in a way. But later you had also something like sport arenas, for example, then later libraries and shopping malls, so always the kind of trends that you see. And it's interesting to see because if you just think about a bit deeper about like what could be potential use cases, then you also find yourself like, okay, maybe this could be also an interesting place, not because obviously, but, and then, you know, there comes those secret information that you might have about a specific place, about your area or your hood. And that is interesting to see. And that's actually exactly what we also wanted to achieve with that. That it's not like just buy, I don't know, something in Manhattan or, you know, those famous landmarks, also, of course, fine. But on the other hand, giving a specific place a voice, and this exactly might be, for example, your area or an area that you know, or maybe an area where you think there should be more attention on. For example, because there's a place that you just like, or where you, again, just want to guide people maybe towards. And that is a tool that we have here in place actually for exactly those kind of ideas.
So before we continue, I just want to highlight we have over 400 live viewers right now, which is absolutely crazy. I didn't expect that. So I would say this experiment of doing a live stream video instead of a Twitter space is seemingly working. So I'm very happy. If you have any questions for any of us, NMaker, Smart Places, any random topic, feel free to just post them on YouTube or in Twitter. We see them all here, and we're gonna bring up some of the questions later to just answer. But before we do that, I think now is a really good time to just talk a little bit about the history of Smart Places, because it's of course extremely interesting. How did you come to Kadono? Who founded Smart Places? There's also a little bit of a sad history, unfortunately, as we all know, and we've been working together for quite a while as well. So I think we can highlight all of that a little bit. Björn, do you want to go ahead? You're muted, I think.
Indeed, thanks. Yeah, I hope it's not too boring, history and so on, but I try to keep it short actually. So yeah, how I came to Kadono, started on Kadono on beginning of 22. For me, just a personal access or entrance point actually was that I was, from a legal perspective, reviewing some of those centralized social media platforms. That was very interesting on the one hand, based on my legal background. On the one hand, exciting. On the other hand, I thought about alternatives. And back then, I was also with Hung, that is a co-founder of Smart Places and my best friend actually since school days. And we had a lot of societal discussions all the time, and especially about the question like, if everything is virtual today, that's fine on the one hand, but why is so less focus actually on this real world aspect? Because all the tools that we have, they're great. Social media is an example, like we see it here now. We all come together, and that's, again, it's amazing. The whole world is connected, but at the same time, it's a kind of isolated society. It became, at least, right? And we think one of the reasons is that there is a kind of gap, because the tools that we have today, they are in a way not really covering that kind of gap. So there's a lack of real life encounters in a way. And we thought, okay, first we would like to solve that, but second, we need we need a special approach to cover that. So it's not like just, put up an app or something. That is just not enough. You need really to create a kind of ecosystem, and you need to have a good strategy, but also the right partners on board. So it took us a while to figure that out and to speak with the partners that we had in mind and everything. And and then we started actually according to our strategy. And after many talks with partners and so on, we finally launched the NFT Lamplot map. That was in May 22. And Patrick, we worked together since then. And thanks again for the great help, because the Lamplot launch was actually a quite big success. We started with 5,000 NFTs. that had been for sale, and we had been sold out within 24 hours. So that was really amazing. And for us, actually, it was as it was a huge success. It felt great, and we thought, okay, this could be really now the starting point of a huge success story. But as life goes, and that is a tragic part that you mentioned, because just I think 3 months later, Hung, he passed away. Also again, the second co-founder, totally unexpected. And that was for me personally, of course, a problem. Also very, very sad. My best friend and everything. For a project, of course, as well. It's not only a great human being that suddenly is gone, but also a leader, right? One of two founders. So that was a challenge for us, and I'm still very thankful and grateful for having partners like you, Patrick, with NMaker, stand on our side, but also our community, the team. It was just an amazing reaction that we received. Very supportive, very respectful, and also very patient. And I was very surprised, actually, because usually in those moments you just don't know how people react, right? And for us, it was really good to see that there was so much support and so much help. Yeah, and that brought us somehow through that very difficult period of time. And it took us, of course, a while, to set up a new team, to also speak with all the partners, and to, in a way, restructure the whole company. And that was also the time where Luca then jumped in as a second co-founder. He's also a very close friend since years already. We work as business partners together since 2014, I think. So I know what he can deliver. I know that I can trust him totally. He has this whole development team behind himself, and if such a business partner and friend joins in with such a great team on top, then you have, like I said, this environment, like this is the community, the partners, and they all help, right? Then you can come through such a time, and that finally happened. So again, it took us a while, but then in over 2023, we finally made it, like putting everything then in the development again, setting up the company in a new manner, restructuring, onboarding new partners. And so finally we are here still.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole story with Hung, of course, without going too deep into it, but was a big shock, I think, for everyone. And I still remember, like 3 months before we met up in Berlin for I think we had sushi or something like that, some sort of food, and we're brainstorming ideas, and then out of nothing. And I think many people at that moment thought, of course, also that the project would potentially be stopped or couldn't continue or something like that. But instead, you packed up your things and said, okay, now even more. And Luca joined, and now I would say Smart Places is in a better position than ever. So that's a really, really huge thing, I think, to overcome. And one of the things where I believe more in, or I have more faith in Smart Places than ever before. And I really think, if you can get through that, you can get through everything. And that's really great. Okay, now let's move on a little bit to more happy topics, maybe. So I think one of the big news, of course, that Smart Places broke or posted recently, which has been happening for quite a while, is of course the investors you have on board, which are also here on the front page. I just want to talk very quickly about that. You have literally Axel Springer and Porsche in their joint venture as an investor in Smart Places, which is unheard of, I would say, especially in Kadono, because we have a lack of VCs in Kadono. That's very clear. But then also to have two of the most influential German companies, ever, in a joint venture to be supporting Smart Places is a really big deal, right? So can you tell us just a little bit how did that happen? How was the experience? When did it happen, actually? And yeah, and are you happy with having them as investors?
Yeah, so indeed, APX with backed with Axel Springer Porsche, that is indeed a great partner. Like you said, in terms of importance, when it comes to to reach and also in general how big and large they are, I think it's for those that don't know that much about that Porsche. I mean, car manufacturer, that's so clear, I would say, but. Axel Springer, for example, it's sometimes not that well known, but also a huge company, Europe's leading digital media publisher, active in more than 40 countries, acquired newspapers in the US like Politico and Business Insider. They own in Germany the biggest newspapers like Bild, for example, but they're also very strong in classified media, so real estate, job portals, and so on. And that is also interesting for us, geolocation-based aspects actually, because real estate, for example, renting flats and so on, that always usually has a geolocation component. They like us especially because what we can make happen here, and that is completely our strategy, to onboard Web2 users, and they see also the potential that kind of approach can bring. That you have on the one hand an ecosystem like ours that is rewarding users in a transparent and very fair manner, bringing on also Web2 users, and then later in a second step, teaching or educate them about the benefits of decentralization. And that convinced them. I mean, also other aspects, of course, the team's experience. I mean, of course, they made a huge due diligence. It took us a while. And what's also great is they are really long-term partners, because you also ask in terms of date. We had the first talks in middle of 22, summer 22 already. They invested further later on in 2 rounds, but what was really impressive was coming back to the story in terms of Hung when he passed away. That was a point or a period of time where I would have estimated or expected that a partner like APX would have said, okay, bye-bye. Because it's such like you said, Patrick, that is something where you don't know what will happen with this project. Will it stop? Can it really proceed and everything? And they really reacted in an amazing manner. I was totally surprised. Very human, very supportive. And they just said, Björn, what do you need? Tell us what you need. We just try to help you. Firstly, in a human way, in terms of if you need time, if you need any kind of support, just tell us, let us know. But then second, they also gave us time, because they knew, okay, now things need to change in a way that will require time, take time. And it was great to see that, because that was also what we discussed in advance with them, that we said, guys, and we are selective when it comes to partners, not because we are arrogant or something, just because we know what we are building is a long-term project. So it makes no sense to onboard a partner that wants to see results after a year, as a results in terms of exit or something, right? And that is, they knew about that, and they really proved that, they really demonstrated that, because exactly in those moments, or in this moment, what they said was, okay, let's continue. We know it will take time. Now it will even take longer, but that's okay for us. They go with us, and that's why I'm very positive, surprised about that. And it made me and still makes me believe in that partner, and that they have and that they share this long-term vision that we have.
That's really unbelievable. That's really fantastic, especially as you said, like from big institutional investors, like these huge companies, billion-dollar companies. You would probably not expect such a human approach. So I think that's a really great story. And of course, with NMaker, just as a side note, we also have a lot of, I would say, touch points with Porsche and some other companies. Or one of our co-founders, Ann-Christine, CFO of NMaker, she came directly from Porsche to NMaker back in the day. So we had a lot of talks with APX and other parts of Porsche as well. And I think the people that work there are just fantastic. So really, really great. Okay, let's break up the rhythm a little bit, because I've just been, going through my list, asking you questions. But I think now it's time for Jamie to jump in, if she's ready, and ask some of the community questions. And we have almost 600 viewers, so if anyone has any questions, ask them now, and we'll make sure to answer them live on stream. Jamie, go ahead.
Thank you, Patrick. This is all really exciting and very interesting. I guess I need to be more strategic about the plots that I'm going to lay down on smart places. Okay, I've got a couple questions here. Let's start with, is this a digital land plot like a VR or real land? So this is one question from the community.
As maybe to answer this, I don't know if the question came having a background, as like maybe the map in front of you. But you can say it's actually not that what we are building, that we are setting up a kind of metaverse or something. So it's not like you have you buy a land plot and then later on there will be a virtual metaverse gaming, whatever kind of additional layer coming on top. So the goal is that we really combine, on the one hand, yes, virtual land plots, but then those things that will happen in real life on those land plots. That is actually the combination. Hope that answers the question.
I think it does, yeah. Another one is, what makes smart places a more attractive reality overlay than some potential competitors?
Yeah, I would say that's maybe I answered now two questions
like
together. Because I would say that is, I think, a big difference and also differentiator when it comes to competitors in this regards, because of course, dividing the world in virtual land plots, that is not a completely new approach. We have seen this in many other projects, and that's fine. And I think there are a lot of them are very exciting or funny also. But most of the time, they again have a different approach, more metaverse related or more gaming related. Again, in our case, it's different. We have here this real life component, and that is for us very important. And that has the main focus. So it's not actually the land plot that in the end will have the main attention. The real life and the users using the app, that will have the biggest attention.
Perfect. Thanks for answering that. I do have another one in relation kind of to the first two. Can you speak a little on data sovereignty? How will we be able to control and protect our data?
Yes, I can take that also. I don't know, Luca, if you want. You as a user, what you can do is that you can choose actually. So you can choose whether you want to share your data or not. So for us, it was in general an aspect that we wanted to have solved actually, because today we see that not on all social media platforms, but in many cases that there is often not really a lot of transparency. So first of all, you don't really know the data are shared. And second, you don't really have a choice. That is at least what happens very often. I mean, it depends a bit on the kind of regulation and also the markets that are covered. But that is a common problem, and that is something we want to address here, so that you as a user, you can choose as a consent-based, GDPR conform, as compliant. I think that is important to understand. I didn't put so much focus now on the presentation on that aspect. But for us, important, not only rewarding people for being interactive, that is also our approach of, giving something back in return for, contributing and actually bringing in value. But second, also that you can choose whether you want to share your data or not.
Perfect. Do we have time for a couple more?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
I see.
This is in relation to the LBE tomorrow. What time does it start?
The LBE will start tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's good. It's just some hours, 3 a.m. UTC. So for all the European people, we're talking about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. And to tie into that one, how can we buy SPX for the LBE event?
During the LBE event,
Yeah.
how does it work? Maybe a small introduction. The LBE starts tomorrow at 3 a.m. This means it starts with a discovery phase. The first discovery phase is that you jump in, just connect your wallet, and you can deposit your ADA into this phase and will get back SPX ADA. At this time, you will have a transition of one-to-one. It's really easy. You go on the MidSwap side, and when you go down, you will find the upcoming launches, and tomorrow you will see the live launches directly. And here on the left side, where you see supply liquidity, you have the option to deposit your ADA there, and you will get back, as I said, SPX ADA in a transition of one-to-one. After the discovery phase is done, this is latest at Sunday the 7th in the evening, or when the max raise of 7.5 million ADA is reached. Then the encounter phase will start. And with this encounter phase, you can give your SPX ADA and swap them to the LP tokens. With this LP tokens, you will get as well an NFT, a booster NFT, that you can use then afterwards to yield farm this SPX ADA or to withdraw them. However, and 50% of that will be restored of SPX and SPX tokens, or and 50% of ADAs. This will happen tomorrow at 3 a.m.
Perfect. Thank you.
I
There
see
are a
two
couple
very
more,
new
but we can-
ones. Yeah, go ahead.
Another question. Do we have another question? Yes. Will the onboarded businesses have technical support from Smart Places, or is the plot owner the only support line for issues?
Now, for sure, there is support from Smart Places side. This is, I think, this based on the startup agencies that are planned, that are coming up, and there will be a support hotline and online support for the businesses to work. They can do it by themselves. It will be a support from our side, and the land plot owner or the businesses that will start there will have as well options of workshops. They will get marketing materials and other supports to line up.
Perfect. I'm all out of questions, Patrick.
Okay, sounds good. Great. I think this was really interesting already. In personal news, I ate nachos earlier today, and then I took my hand and I put it in my eyes. So now my eyes keep tearing up, and I can barely see you guys. So that's very annoying. Anyways, so I promised you before the interview, or before the live stream, that we wouldn't do it in such an interview kind of style, but I just thought, having these questions is really important. Should we talk about, I don't know, some other topics? Like what else completely besides Smart Places are you currently interested in crypto, for example? Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, maybe I can start. I mean, it's really amazing to see the great projects here on Kadono. I mean, in general, I think I've mentioned that. It's always interesting to see. I mean, I'm from Berlin, Germany. I don't know whether there are also some guys from Berlin, but we have here an active blockchain community. I remember when I started with Kadono, actually, I remember some talks here in the community, and it's not like only fans, of course, of Kadono, like always. You have those discussions, some like it, some not. But I think it was really a kind of common understanding that this value-based aspect and the community-driven aspect of Kadono, that is in a way really well known. That was at least my impression, and that's what I still like. And also see this here when it comes to discussions with the community, but also with other projects. That's one of the reasons the project that we have here. I mean, we see a lot of very successful ones, and I don't know whether it's Book.io. That is, in my opinion, a very, very interesting project that I'm trying to keep up as much as I can. I mean, as someone building a project, you're always busy all the time, so it's not so easy to keep up. But that is really an amazing project. We also recently spoke a lot with Fluid Tokens. I mean, also great guys for us, also for Smart Places, interesting. That's why we also started a partnership. But yeah, just to name two of them that I like a lot and follow as much as I can.
When we talk about that, we don't forget NMaker. Yeah? Patrick is here with us at the very first project, and he's one of the step points where I get in Kadono. First Bjorn, late 2022. Ever think, to be honest, the very first time that Bjorn was sitting on my terrace at home and talking about the idea of smart places and about blockchain and so on, I said, yeah, go on. Don't talk about crypto with me. Yeah? Not another crypto boy. Yeah, to say it in this way. But it started to get interesting, and when I started then with him to going more deep dive in and to start to see the technology, to start talks with Patrick, and to learn step by step more and more about Kadono and so on. One of the main persons were Patrick, really, that every question that I have, he will help, he's answering, and also the rest of the community. But NMaker, absolutely, and the people behind. Yeah, it's Jamie as well. Every kind of question, it's in regards to marketing, perfect fill every kind of answer. So it's a great, cool team. Yeah, it's not only smart places, but I can give it back to NMaker in a fully way. Proud to work together and proud to have you as friend as well, Patrick. Cool parties that we had for now, and it will not be the last one. Don't forget that. And all the other projects, there's so many that we can talk about as well.
Forget the other projects. That was the answer I was looking for.
I'm pretty sure
NMaker.
I think smart places and NMaker will take over the world, right?
Exactly. And and
Pinky and the brain.
I think most people here are too young to know that, actually.
This could be.
But, yeah, so which are there any like crypto specific or Kadono events that you're attending this year?
We need to see Paris next week. That was a goal, but we need to see now with the LBE. So that is, of course, we need to see, but it's definitely planned. In London also was planned the week after, but it's the same. We need to see how we can make it happen. And besides that, it's the Kadono Summit. Definitely this time. Last time we couldn't make it. The year before in Lausanne, it was great. But it depends now a bit. Like LBE is important, of course, and as we said, we have a tough roadmap ahead of us. The Web2 marketing campaign for the land plots will start afterwards. So we need to see how we handle that. But
for sure, there are two main events that we will be there. It's a Reevo, where we definitely will attend, where it's planned, and the Kadono Summit as well. And all the other, we have to see how it's possible, but there could be some more.
Sounds good. And I'm really looking forward to Reevo. That's going to be fun. And I'll be there too, of course. Christian is next week also in Paris for Blockchain Paris. So if you're there, meet up. And that's honestly, we're almost at 1 hour now already, with over 750 viewers, which is unbelievable. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. If you like this format, like live streams, I like it a lot. I think this is really relaxed and easy going in comparison to Twitter Spaces. Twitter Spaces give me anxiety sometimes. But yeah, if you like this format, please comment, please share, and then we're also going to end it here. So do you have any last words? Maybe, Jamie, you go first. Do you have any last words?
I don't know if I have a last word, but I do have a last question in relation to what Luca just said about attending Reevo and Kadono Summit. There was somebody in the audience asking, I would like to buy a t-shirt like Bjorn has, one of Smart Places. Will there be any coming at the events?
Stay tuned, but be sure you will be able.
Perfect.
You should tokenize them and do like a tokenized drop or something.
Send me your address. I will check it on chain.
Okay, then thank you, Jamie. And then I'm gonna give it to our two guests, Björn and Gianluca, for the last words, and then we're gonna end the stream. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. And Patrick, thanks for having us. Guys, thanks so much for being here, being with us. We always like to be in touch with you, so DM us or just follow us on Twitter, join our Discord. That would be amazing. Tomorrow's LBE. Let's see what happens. But besides that, again, we're always happy if you reach out to us, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.